Some shops and stores are brilliant when it comes to returning goods. Some of them, on the other hand, take the proverbial. And so if you're in the position, especially coming up to Christmas, when you need to return something, or after Christmas and you need to return something, either because you've changed your mind or because it's broken or not fit for purpose, this video is going to clarify exactly what your rights are in that situation. But if you're new to my channel, I'm Daniel Smith, the Barrister of England and Wales. I enjoy helping you to understand law, so please do bop that subscribe button. It really does help my channel grow. So there are two broad, distinctly different situations in this case when you want to return goods. It's either because you've changed your mind, or it doesn't fit, or you don't like the color, or you just didn't want a pair of socks for Christmas, or because it's defective, or it's just not fit for purpose, or there's something wrong with it. Now, there's also two slightly different scenarios depending whether you bought it online or whether you bought it in store. If you bought it online, you automatically have 14 days beginning the day after you receive it to return it for no reason whatsoever. It doesn't have to be defective. It doesn't matter if you've changed your mind. And the return costs for those will differ depending on the situation. However, if you bought it in store, you don't have the automatic right to return it just because you've changed your mind, but you do have the right to reject it if there's something wrong with it. But with many people buying things online, let's start with that first. Let's move to the situation where you are returning goods in the event of a cancellation because you've decided to exercise your right to cancel the contract within that 14 days. Then you, the consumer, must bear the cost of returning these goods unless the traders agreed to do so, or the trader has failed to provide you, the consumer, with information about returning these costs, the cost of which falling on you as required under the consumer contract regulations. However, in the event that you are rejecting those goods, that doesn't apply, because if you are rejecting the goods for any one of the reasons that it's not fit for purpose, satisfactory quality, and so on, then if you are returning them, then the reasonable cost of returning the rejected goods to the trader is borne by the trader themselves. And so this includes the trader paying the postal cost. This applies whether or not the consumers agreed to return the goods as mentioned previously. So except for where you are returning them in person, the trader will bear any reasonable costs of returning the goods here. But if you bought these things in store, as I said, if you've just changed your mind, you're not automatically entitled to return them unless the store has given you an agreement, 30 days typically, to say you can return it if it's in resaleable condition, unused, unworn, and so on. But there's no automatic right outside of that unless they've agreed so otherwise. But again, if it is defective, then you have the right to reject it within 30 days and therefore return it. Beyond that 30 days, you have the right to a repair or replacement. And if the defect is found within the first 6 months, it is for the trader to show that this defect was not there when you bought it. In other words, you've broken it, torn it, or whatever. And after that 6 months, you must show that the defect was there when you first bought it. So obviously, if you've smashed the thing, you can't say it's unlikely that you're going to be able to say that that defect was there when you bought it, unless, of course, you do so immediately and there's some kind of evidence. That's why I suggest always filming the opening of expensive packages. And for that, we store them on our app Proofify, which I will link in the description below. So do check that out. So in that case where you want to return goods to store because they are defective, you can do so within 30 days to reject them. It is the right to reject if it's not fit for purpose, not satisfactory quality, doesn't match the description, and so on. But important to bear in mind, it's only the person that purchased it that can exercise that right, because they are the consumer that's purchased it. They're the one that's entered the contract. If they've given it away, albeit with a gift receipt, it might be able to be exchanged for something else so long as it's in resellable condition. But the person that bought it is the one that can exercise that right to reject it. So I hope that all makes sense. The situations are slightly different. If traders tell you otherwise, direct them to the legislation that I've pointed you to in this video. Of course, this is not legal advice, but you are free to point them to the same legislation. It is word for word, crystal clear who is to pay for what. So I hope that clarifies things. Please do subscribe if you find these videos useful. And as always, thank you for watching.